on Biggs Radio, and I hope you guys are tuning in because it is an exclusive interview that's going on tonight, and you guys do not want to miss it. But welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, guys, on BiggsRadio.com. Yes, so we have an exclusive interview this evening with author Aisha Collins, Dr. Aisha Collins. And I hope you guys are tuning in this evening for this exclusive interview that you don't want to miss. And so I actually have my own version of Dr. Well, I don't. I'm just going to make you guys aware of who Dr. Aisha Collins is. And Dr. Aisha Collins is an educator and a researcher by day and writer by night. Her debut memoir, Two Sides to Every Story, draws on her personal experiences, exploring the messy reality of modern day friendships and relationships. So, Real Life Topics audience and Biggs Radio audience, please welcome Dr. Aisha Collins to Real Life Topics Podcast and Biggs Radio. Dr. Aisha Collins, can you please tell Real Life Topics Podcast and Biggs Radio audience who is Dr. Aisha Collins?
Well, you did a great job. This experience is awesome. So I thank you again for having me. My name is Dr. Aisha Collins. I am a mother, an educator, and writer and poet. So I am excited to share my experience of being a Black woman in the professional world dealing with messy stuff. Like, how do you balance it all? So I am here to talk about that.
Yes, yes. The name of the book, Two Sides to Every Story. That is the name of this book. You are the author of this book. How long has this book been out?
This book came out the end of December, and we did a soft launch where I just told everyone who saw me going through the process. They saw the day I came back from the trip, which started the story, and they was like, "You got to make this a book." So the people who knew about it first were the first people to kind of know that it was dropped on December 29th, actually.
Oh, okay. So here we're going to get into depth into the book, the name of the book, Two Sides to Every Story. And so this is the big question. First of all, is this your first book that you wrote?
This is the first book I wrote outside of my doctoral dissertation. So it's the first book, the second book I published, but the only one that really is something I share with the world.
Okay. So this is the first book that you shared with the world.
Yes.
What inspired you to want to become a book writer, an author?
I knew that there were stories that were going into my journal that other people were probably experiencing, and I was just keeping it to myself. And I'm like, I can't be the only one living this life. And if I am, let me just tell you a story. So it really started off with I've been writing and journaling since I was a kid. I do it for therapeutic purposes, for fun purposes, and all those things. And this time it was like this situation was so serious that I had to share it. It was just crazy what was going on.
So it was crazy. So that it did this book actually motivated you to just jump out there, but you always had the background of being a writer and an author. But this experience, which was how long ago was this experience?
This experience about 2 Christmases ago. So I wrote it relatively quickly. Like as soon as I got home, I jumped on my phone, started talking about it. Then I started journaling about it. It took me literally maybe like a month to actually write it, but 2 years to get it out there.
Okay, so it took a good 2 years for you to get it out there. And what gave you the confidence to want to get it out there? Because two sides to a story. If you could just explain to me what is two sides to every story, and what did two sides to every story encourage you to just jump out there and say, I'm going to write a book about this? What made you just say, hey, I just, because it's kind of like telling your business. And, people are going to judge you. You have the other side to the story. What just made you walk out on faith and say, hey, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to tell this story.
Honestly, I am still afraid. Every time I think about reaching more and more people, it tugs at my heartstrings because I know I'm being very vulnerable. I always tell people, you may think that I'm actually the wrong person. I'm the person that had the problem in the story, which in my perception, I wasn't the one with the problem. So that's why it was two sides to every story, because we know that she had her feelings about me on that trip. And I know we'll talk about what that trip was all about. But I went on a trip and she had her perception of me. And I was like, am I that person? How am I showing up as a friend that someone could even have that perception of me? And I just felt like it was so outlandish how she was feeling it about me. So I just asked the world, what do you think? So I'm still afraid. It's a mirror
Yes.
to myself.
Yes. So you, when you walked out, so you did write this book. You did, like you said, you're still afraid. What made you unafraid?
So, what gave me the courage to do it is a lot of prayer and reflection. Like, I honestly, I didn't think it could hurt. I didn't think it could hurt anyone by knowing my perception of the story. So, if you know that friend that's kind of maybe soft spoken and passive, I am that person. Maybe you know the friend that's a kind of more dominant, maybe you are that person, so you'll get to see yourself in that story, or maybe some friends that you have. And I just said I have to do this because I wasn't purposely being a bad person or a mean person or anything like that, but her perception is, her truth. So I just say, hey, let me get it out there and let's see what the public says about how I experience myself and my friend.
Yes. So which character was the most difficult to write about? You know the friend, and which character was the most difficult to write about? Your character in the book, or the other are you talking about more than one friend in this book?
So, the interesting
Okay.
thing about how this book started is because I realized I was showing up a certain way in all of my relationships. So, I began the book talking about a previous romantic relationship and a previous best friend. Like, here's how I showed up there. But here's when I was trying to mend everything or be a better person. And so, the most difficult part of the story was reflecting on who I was actually in my romantic relationship, because I was allowing people to shut me down to keep me from talking. And it started there and it ended up in this relationship in Africa that I still wasn't being my true self. So it was actually harder talking about that breakup that actually broke my heart.
Oh, wow, wow. So are you able to get a little in depth about what is this book, Two Sides to Every Story, really about? What is this about?
Absolutely. So I started going through a hard time on a breakup. I was going through a breakup, didn't want to talk to the world. I kind of shut myself down. And I had this best friend who was like, you need to get out. You need to come enjoy this trip. I got you. I got you. Don't worry about anything. And so I felt like I could go there and truly enjoy myself and not worry about anything in the world. But she turned the tides as soon as I got there. Like the tides started to turn slowly. And then I realized, like, is this really happening? And that about day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, it just kind of tumbled and crumbled. And by the end of that trip, she said I was not a good friend and we never spoke again.
Hmm. So, what passage in the book were you most proud of, which might have been the hardest to write overall, but what part in the book that you were just most proud of, that you were just like, "Hey, I'm glad I got this out. I'm glad I wrote this."
Actually, a part that I was actually kind of afraid for my family to see, because I feel like the genesis of how I show up in friendships really starts in your childhood. It starts in how you are received. Are you told to be quiet? Are you told to not be so sensitive? Are you told to stop crying so much? If you're that person, you grow into an adult, and that shows up in your relationships. So that was very difficult for me to write that part. And I know that people will see that part, but it was like a breath of fresh air to say, this is how I experienced that shutdown in childhood. This is what I actually felt. Why people saw, like, oh, she's a Cancer. She always got an attitude. She's moody. But really, I'm like, that's my way of expressing myself. But to be shut down, it carried into my adulthood. But to get it out was my first time admitting how I felt as a child.
Okay. So, more, is there more to come other than two sides to every story on the book side? Because again, guys, if there's anyone out there, we're going to drop the link in the, if you want to purchase a copy of Two Sides to Every Story with Dr. Aisha Collins. This is, I'm actually only probably like 10 pages in, but it is a very interesting story. And to me, you have to have great confidence to just, I mean, we all experience a lot of things in our lives. a lot of things in our lives, and we don't really talk about it. We don't really talk about it. And I think it's brave of you to come out and talk about those mishaps that we all have in life. I mean, we go through life on the everyday basis. We come across people that's only in our lives for a season, and we can look back on those people, and we don't really talk about it. We just move on, and we just, have that story in the back of our head. So sometimes I think it's good for us to just come out and write about it, like you did, and just basically keep it real, because people need to know about this. Even the new generation needs to know that, hey, we come across friends that are not really always our friend, and we might think they are, but they're not. So I just, if you don't mind telling Real Life Topics audience and Biggs Radio audience on of anything that you can just give them encouragement to do, when they come across bad experiences like that.
Yes, as you can see, it was a lot of layers that started from my childhood that showed up in adulthood. And I want to tell everyone to give yourself grace and forgive yourself for who you're showing up to be, because you didn't get that way by osmosis. You got that way through experiences and things that you felt. And even when people shut you down and say those feelings are correct, it's okay to feel the things that you feel, accept who you are, and give yourself grace regardless of how people treat you, because how they treat you is more about them than it is about you. So just believe in yourself. And is there more to the story? It absolutely is. There are so many things that happened during that trip that didn't make the book because it was the spicy stuff.
So you said the spicy stuff made it to this book?
It
The
does that.
spicy stuff made it to the in-depth stuff, things that probably you can now that do we have any red flags in the book as well, that maybe do you look back on before you went to the trip and said, hey, I should have paid attention to such and such, I should have done that, and then I did you have any red flags, or did you just literally just go walk out and just really think this person was your friend and you went out on a trip with the person, or did you have any red flags?
There was definitely some red flags, but because I was at a place that I wanted to adjust to everyone's need, I ignored all those flags. So when someone kind of was like, "Oh, I'd rather you do this as a friend. This is how I want you to show up," I would try my best to show up as that friend. So actually, I wasn't able to be myself in that friendship. So when I got there, I thought I can continue to play the role of being exactly who she needed me to be to enjoy myself. But really, how do you enjoy yourself when you're not you, and you're in this beautiful country of Ghana, and you're trying to make sure someone else is happy? So it was red flag. She was constantly telling me how to be that friend she needed, which is okay to communicate that, but you need to determine if you're that person. You can't make yourself someone you're not. So while she was telling me who she needed me to be, I needed to ask myself, is that who I am?
Right. And then another thing that stood out to me that's on the back of your book was the trip was a gift, the friendship was leverage, the invoice was the truth. Could you break down to me what that literally means?
Okay, so the trip was a gift. She said, I need you to come. You've been down in the dumps. Your heart is broken. I got everything. I'm going to pay for everything. All you need to do is get here and enjoy yourself. So that was the gift. And then
Okay.
she used my friendship to know everything about me. What was my breaking points? What was the sticking points? What were the things that hurt me? What was the things that I struggled with? So that friendship became something that she used as, I know that if I tell you this, you'll change. And I know I can dig my heels in and make you feel a certain way, but you'll never address me about it. So she knew that. So she kept digging her heels in a lot of situations. And then the invoice came at the end of the trip where she said, I want all my money back because you weren't a good friend.
Oh, wow. Now this is an interesting book. This is an interesting book. She wanted the money back. She gave it to you for a gift. Sounds like Judge Judy to me. That's what it sounds like. We need to be on Judge Judy or something. I mean, what?
Yes.
I do want to shout out some people that are tuning in to Real Life Topics Podcast and Biggs Radio, and that's Mr. Success Media. Shout out to Mr. Success Media. Mr. Nino, thank you so much. Good job, Godchild, was his comment. And Mr. Dexter Dale, he said, this is a great read. Of course it is. One of the number one books thus far. One of the number one books thus far. So we really need you guys to check out Dr. Aisha Collins, because there's more books to come past this as well. But
Yes.
Yes, I just shout out to everybody that's tuning in to Real Life Topics podcast. And
Yes.
so now we have Carmisha, the Sunflower Soul. And of
Sorry,
course,
my
I'm
apologies for
sure.
the delay.
Yes. So of course I'm a toss the mic to Carmisha the Sunflower Soul because I'm sure she has a couple of questions for Dr. Aisha Collins as well.
So you're just gonna put me on the spot like that right there? I mean, hi.
Okay, so one thing I do want to do then in the meanwhile of that, I do want to shout out that it's a Smooth Jazz All-Star February 27th in Indianapolis, Indiana, with Bouncy James, Peter White, Norman Brown, and B. Thompson. I'm just saying, go to www.bigsradio.com to check any information out about that. And shout out to bigsradio.com. That's all I'm saying, guys. Make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time with Real Life Topics podcast. And right now we are interviewing one of the number one authors, Miss Dr. Aisha Collins. And the name of her book is Two Sides to Every Story, because it's always two sides to every story. And how about I just read a little bit more on the back, because this is in depth about half of what this book is about. And so this was just actually interesting to me because I like how you set this up when you said, what about your friends? Remember that song blasting on the radio back in the 90s? You know, that friend that makes you think about, the one who knows your triggers, triumphs, and deepest vulnerabilities. The one you thought would forever be your homie, but something went wrong and that friend grew cold. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced this. Now imagine that friend using what they know about you against you. I know we all have went and came across that. Mm-hmm. For the woman in this story, that's what happened. The end of Friend's trip to Africa marked the end of a friendship and the beginning of a painful but necessary journey inward. This is a story of that journey, a journey towards making the unapologetic choice of finding your own voice, no matter the cost. Again, guys, if you just tuning in, please welcome to Real Life Topics podcast at Bigs Radio, Dr. Aisha Collins. I'm just saying.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Aisha Collins. Carmisha, the Sunflower Soul, do you have any questions?
Okay. Well, what did I miss? Because I feel like I missed something. What did I miss?
You missed a lot, ma'am. You missed a lot. It's Real Life Topics, though.
Okay, so have you asked any specific questions so that way I can kind of know where to gear myself?
I mean, if you might just want to know about the book Two Sides to Every Story, whatever questions you might want to know, you can go ahead.
Okay. So in the nitty-gritty and the thick of it, of course, because I guess this book for me would be surrounding the idea of a sisterhood and friendship and things of that nature. Were there any red flags that you saw before this trip?
Yeah, so we talked about that dominating friend and on that versus the passive friend or the more quieter friend. So I did see that, and I was the more quieter friend. I did have my opinions, I did voice my opinions, but once somebody pushed back, I kind of just let it go, and she was the one who was kind of pushing that envelope constantly. So it always felt like I need to change. She needs me to change, and she is having a problem with me right now, so I was constantly changing and adjusting. So that was a red flag for both me and her.
Okay, so with that being said, and you did see the red flags, a lot of the times we stay in toxic relationships for longer than we should. What was the thought process with the friendship? Even though you did see the red flags, why didn't you maybe change some things, maybe separate yourself, maybe talk to her about her ways? Like, what was your thought process with the friendship?
Good question. So I was at a dark place. I had just gone through a breakup. I felt like, what is it that I did wrong? So I turned inward and became my worst enemy after that breakup and thought that everything I must have done had been wrong. So anyone who was willing to give me feedback on, okay, Aisha, you need to do this, you need to do that. So it started as support. Aisha, speak your mind or be kind and be more forgiving and all these things. And I'm like, yeah. And then it became be this kind of friend and do these things because I don't like when you don't. And it was like, Okay, so it kind of like morphed into something else, and I didn't see the signs, or I was willing to accept the signs, and just made bad choices that silenced myself.
So my question with that is because a lot of the times, when you have friends and you may not want to have certain conversations with them because you may not know how it's going to go. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You may not have the words to gather to have those kinds of conversations with them, because it seems like to me, you're saying that she always, you asked what, you could change. She gave you resolutions, but it's like there was no end to actually just the settling of your friendship.
It was, yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, so when you say there's no end, when you mean like I wouldn't let it go?
Well, no, she it seems like she was never really happy with who you were as a person.
Yeah, it does. And I wish, because she would show up in so many other ways. Like she showed up, and people always look at me crazy, like it doesn't matter that she showed up, who she was she actually, but she would show up in places that I felt most alone. She showed up to my doctoral graduation when none of the people who saw me at the beginning of my graduation was there. So she was there and she saw me through those hard times, those dark times. But when it became me coming out and being, I guess, more at peace with my situation, she just kind of turned on me like, yeah, you should, when I buy you a gift, nobody buys me gifts like I buy gifts. So things like that. So it was like kind of like little jabs, like nobody as good as a friend as I am. So I'm like, oh, well, let me be a better friend. If she buys me a gift, let me buy her a gift. So it really became a juggling game because I was in such a dark space.
Okay, so with that being said, because it seemed like it's the term for the worst happened when you went on your trip, and that's a very vulnerable space to be in. So even with the red flags and the things that you saw in her, I don't know, because some people don't have many friends. I don't know, was she your only friend? Was she the only person that you maybe felt comfortable with going out of town with? Like, what was the thought process?
I absolutely knew that I should not go out of town with her. I wasn't completely oblivious. I knew it, and I was like, I could play this cool and go to Africa and enjoy myself. I don't have to have my whole big personality. I just wanted to just go and enjoy myself. Like I really thought I could fly under the radar, especially being that it was actually a third person there. So it's 3 women. So I was like, oh, if someone else is there, no attention will be on me and what I'm doing, but all attention was on me and what I was doing.
So when you went out of town, did you see a change in her? Like did you see the switch of like, okay, this is not going to go well?
I saw it being something I couldn't escape. I had never been out of town with her, not alone. So when I got there alone with her, kind of with this other young lady who was a stranger to me, I felt like I couldn't escape it. So when she would say something, I couldn't just fall back and say, I'm just going to chill out. So it was like more prominent when I got there. The lasting attitude, the switching moods really quickly, the sharp comments, the recalling my past in front of people I didn't know. She like decided to like bring up my past and my hurt and my sadness at a dinner that we were getting on a tour. So it was just like, are you trying to hurt me? I'm so confused, but I couldn't escape it. I can't go get an Uber and be alone. I had to stay with her most times we were out. So she took advantage of it.
So how close of a friend were you? Like, how long was your friendship?
Good questions. Our relationship started off rocky for the first, we knew each other for a total of 5 years, but for the first 2 years, we were on and off because we were with a larger group of friends. It was like 4 or 5 of us who were all friends. And we had a friend in common that was my best friend. So we just kind of, we're a girl crew. We talk on the phone, we do these healthy conversations, but when she got me alone, it was different.
So my question is, because they say that like the 5 people that you have around you, you're kind of like them. Are there anything that you may see in her that was similar? Like what bonded you all together? What was the similar thing that made you all click as a friend?
Dare I say? Well, not dare I say. She was very intelligent. She was strong. She was outspoken and about her identity as a woman, as a Black woman. She encouraged Black women. She supported everything that we did as a group. Like she was the one like, oh, you're writing on a paper. How about you take that paper and you make it a memoir? Like she was the type of person that you will not stay basic, but she was like about 10 years younger than me, if base 8 to 10 years younger than me.
So my question is, do you think, and I don't know if you, I'm about to say something. Oh, do you think it was any hateration in the dancery? Why was she acting like that with you? What was it?
People really say that. I get a lot of feedback that she was just hating. She was just hating, but I still struggle seeing that she hated on me. I felt like by the end of the trip, she actually hated me. So I'm not sure. I don't know. She went through a lot of leaps and bounds to be there to celebrate me for my biggest moments. So I don't know if that was hate. I don't think it was.
Because she gifted you. She gifted you this trip. This trip was all on her.
Yes.
So she
So
gifted.
She plotted. She did it on purpose. She did that on purpose.
Yes. She gifted her this trip. Told her she didn't need to do nothing but get there. Yes.
That was it. Yep, that was it.
Yes. Yes.
It's crazy because, like, you know, we as people always want to see the good, you know, like, you know, especially when it comes to sisterhood, because we don't have a lot of it. So it's like when you mesh with a person, you want things to go well. I don't know, but it's like, that is.
I mean, you hit it on the head. She became my only friend after a while because I had the larger group, and then we all moved and dispersed across the country. So I no longer was super close with my best friend who we had in common, and then me and her started gravitating closer together just through conversation. We did a lot of trauma bonding though. She was going through something. And I was like, girl, let's talk about it, girl. So we trauma bond to no end.
Yeah, that, you know what? And it does make sense. Okay, so with that being said, because my outlook, my perspective in life is lessons and blessings. So what did you take from this scenario as far as what you will do differently, what to look for? Like how do you think you grew from this situation?
I am going to voice my needs and stand on my needs. If it's something that is someone's needs that is outside of my comfort zone, my self-respect, anything that's it compromises who I am as a person, I can't do it. And a lot of things happen, or some things happened on the trip that was compromising who I was and my comfort. So I'm going to stand on it. I can't please everyone at the cost of myself. So the cost was beyond the cost of that trip. And I had to learn, like, I'm okay. I am okay with who I am and stand on my feelings and my needs. Because the people who love you will be okay with it.
Also, you were kind of a people pleaser to a certain extent.
Absolutely. I was a people pleaser.
I mean, but you have to learn though, because you know, there are a lot of things that we ask the universe for that we want to grow towards. And a lot of the times when we ask for these things, we are not really prepared for, because you're going to be in rooms and places with people of this nature, and you need to be able to see it like it is, so that way they're not tearing down the throne, you know, what the universe is building for you. So, I mean,
absolutely.
As long as you learn from the lesson, of course, it's not something that you went through, but look how you're able to help other people by letting help, you know, with your story, you know, just alone, you know. So my question also with that would be, do you think, because it is two sides, do you think her, what do you think her opinion would be, or her side of the story would be? Would she feel the same way you feel? Would it be totally different? Like, what do you think her aspect of everything and how it went down?
I honestly think that she saw me as a people pleaser and it displeased her, but I was doing it more so in other relationships. So I feel like she would see me as still being this soft person, didn't stand up for myself, not a good friend, probably feel like I was being shady because I was beginning to close in on myself. Like I was like, well, I just won't talk in this moment. So she will probably look at me as, Aisha, you came and you weren't jumping for joy. You weren't yelling and partying with us. So she may have seen me as someone that didn't show up the way she expected me to show up.
But this is, have you all been in nothing of this nature?
Never went clubbing. And if anyone knows me, I'm not a clubber. I may have pictures that I'm into some blue lights, but I'm not much of a clubber. So she knew this about me. So some of the things that was happening was a lot of being on an itinerary that was back to back to back to back to back. And I couldn't refuse anything because she was very clear to say, if you got a problem with what we're doing, you grown. So it got real like, oh my God, I had saw her for 5 minutes in Africa. And she was like, you're grown. If you don't want to do so, it was just like aggressive as soon as we got there. I'm like, let me fix my face. Let me just get through these 7 days and be
7
okay.
whole days, like Tony Braxton. Oh wow.
7
7 whole days.
After 5 years, that's why I say you have to really get to know people. Because even after 5 years, you didn't even know that she had this aspect of who she was, and she decided to show it when she felt like she had you the most vulnerable.
Exactly. I felt like I was most vulnerable. Some people were saying, well, always have your own money. I absolutely had my own money. But the first 3 times I had to Uber alone, it was like, I'm not feeling safe. So I have my own money. How do I escape and navigate when I'm there with 3 women in a country I don't know?
Mhm.
I mean,
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my own safety would have been find another hotel and stay put for the 7 days. Even though I didn't feel unsafe, I just felt not in the right space.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you're here to help tell the story.
To tell the story, because some people didn't make it back. And I pray to
No.
God that all of that is recovered and, cleared up and other people are protected, but it could have went totally different. Because I definitely was doing things on my own just to please her. If she said be there on time and the girl that was with us was not ready, I would take a Uber by myself in a country I did not know. It wasn't called Uber, it was called something. And I'm clicking an app I don't know, jumping in cars I didn't know, just to make sure she was not upset about my timelines.
Mm.
Some people don't deserve to be in your face and your space, and you learn that along the way, and it is what it is,
It is what it is. Yep.
Sad
So
that
if
you
you
have
guys
to
really want to get in depth to the details of the whole story, I mean, literally like what happened when you got down there, those whole 7 days, I'm sure it's a story to every single day. You had to take Ubers, be uncomfortable. Y'all was supposed to go down there together and stick together. And that wasn't the case when you got down there. So I need you guys to order this book, Two Sides to Every Story by author Aisha Collins, Dr. Aisha Collins at that. And it's so many deets. So it's a whole 7 days worth in this book. And it's terrorizing to go out the country with someone that's really not your friend. And then you're somewhere where you don't know about or don't know anybody there. Like,
I got a question. I'm sorry.
yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, these sunflower songs.
So with that experience, I'm sorry. I gotta get this off. So with that experience that you had with her, has it tainted your view on sisterhood and women?
Unfortunately, it has. I want to break free from that because I know I don't want to live my life like that. But for 2 years, I am traumatized by the idea of even being vulnerable to a lot of people. So I'm struggling, but I'm working through it. But it's
understandable.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the true definition of sisterhood for you if it was like your ideal?
My ideal sister, we could just be who we are. I just want to be. Want to be who I am and be loved and accepted. And in those places where you got to give that hard criticism, I'm open to, changing and being flexible, but I need it to come from out of love and from you being my mirror and not a shard trying to, stab me. So I do see that. I know that people get feedback. I know I'm not going to always be saying, Aisha, you're great and you're perfect. I know I have areas of growth, but if it comes from love, I'm perfectly okay with it.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Right. Yes. I mean, I just need you guys to go purchase the book, Two Sides to Every Story by Dr. Aisha Collins. That's all I'm saying, guys. This is a very good story, and most of us don't talk about this. Once again, most of us do not talk about the friendships and the people that come across our lives in different seasons. We just move on, but we can go back from 20 to 30 years ago, depending on how old you are. 20 years ago for me, and just go back, and half of those people that you were friends with 20 years ago, you are not friends with today. And some of us got out away from that friendship without a bad experience. And unfortunately, some of us have had to have these bad experiences which experience is the best teacher. So now that we know better, we're going to do better when it comes to discernment of picking and choosing who our friends is and who we are around, especially going out of town with them and out of the country with them. And you think these people are your friends and they're really not. And thank God that Dr. Aisha Collins made it back, because everyone doesn't make it back when they go out of the country with people that are not to be trusted and really are not your friends. So again, guys, I want you guys to please order your book, Two Sides to Every Story by Dr. Aisha Collins. And we want to thank Dr. Aisha Collins for coming to Real Life Topics podcast. But we're also, we do want to come up with, we got about 25 more minutes left. So we do want to talk about one topic. And how about we just talk about, what about your friends? And how can we cipher or know where this to the point, whereas, because sometimes people make mistakes when we come across friends, and none of us are perfect when we come across friends. We all have flaws as human beings. So how should we cipher this thing? How should we have the discernment to know to pay attention to that red flag or walk away? I mean, because we give people so many chances.
The change behavior, you have to teach people how to treat you. People are not going to know if a person was raised a certain kind of way, they may have unsavory things about themselves that they may not know. So you have to teach people how to treat you, and do not put up with foolishness that you know you should not be pulling up with just to appease somebody else. Because a lot of the time, the people that's doing that to you ain't putting up with the sugar honey iced tea. Okay, they're not putting up with it. So you shouldn't. You have to have a backbone. You have to have self-love. You have to be confident in who you are. Because sometimes you have to stand alone. You're not going to always be able to stand with somebody else. And that's why you got to get a connection with God, baby. Once you get a connection with the high power, the man upstairs, or whoever you refer to, even if it's just going within for yourself, meditation, however you got to do it to stand firm and know who you are, then you ain't going to be putting up with foolishness. It don't matter what it is. You're going to address that thing. And if it changes, because you know people are not perfect. So if I can address the issue with you and it gets better, then we can move on. But if you're not going to keep saying sorry, or, you know, acting a certain kind of way, and I feel it on the inside. A lot of the times we just surpass, like they said, the red flag, the anxiety that comes up when you come around certain people. You shouldn't feel that way. If it's somebody that you are close to, you should feel at home. You should feel safe. I should not feel anxious, nervous, upset, mad, anything that is just negative. No, you have to, baby, see it for what it is. Stop putting your expectations upon other people and take people at face value when they show you who they is the first time.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Can you say that? Could you say that again one more time for Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics audience? Would you say that one more time?
I can't tell you what I said again. But I'm just saying no, because it just
when people show you the first time, yes. you better know it.
Face value. Take him at face value. If a person show you a snake, you let them, they're gonna bite you. Don't, the snake is nice and you look like, no, they showed you who they was. So you take them at face value. And a lot of the times we have this cliche of treating people the way we want to be treated, but if it's not being reciprocated, then you have to be able to move on, try to grow from the situation. Because I mean, it's not always about just separating yourself, because if you can grow, because we need to learn how to do that too, conflict resolve and be able to move on. Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. But if we cannot resolve, then let's be able to dissipate in a way that is still very much so healthy. Yeah. If you show me who, baby, let me tell you, I'll get on. I'll be like, who you mean? Girl, no, I saw it. And then 2 weeks later, my friend be like, girl, let me tell you what she did. I'll be like, well, I told you.
Yes. The discernment. We got to have more better discernment skills. Yeah. That's what I think we all should like now, Dr. Aisha Collins, your discernment skills is on point now. Now it's to the point where you might come across a good friend and never mind, I ain't even gonna be bothered because your discernment skills is up now. It's like I don't even. And so, how do you think you're gonna deal with that? Because again, it's good people, it's good friends in this world. It's good people that are surrounded around you on the daily basis. How are you maneuvering through that when you not even opening up the door? I'm sure now for any type of friendship at this point, because it's like nobody is to be trusted. How are you going through the daily basis on just kind of ciphering that when you go to parties, weddings, and come and get around people. You might go out to the studio. How are you going to work through trying not to judge people or put that off on that person due to your experience?
Good question. I have started going out more to open up myself, because I did go into a place where I would not leave the house. It was a struggle. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. No matter how people show up at work, because I work corporate downtown and no one knew what I was going through. But I would not make any connection. It was all surface connections. Like, hey, girl, didn't know anybody's name. Was the most pleasant person, enjoy people. But then I realized when I got more comfortable that I could kind of sense when someone has a good spirit. And I want to say that's my Holy Spirit, and, it's telling me it's okay. But everyone who good for you for the moment is not going to be good for you for a lifetime. So when you start seeing those signs, I needed to be okay to walk away. I had to walk away since then from someone I care for dearly. I had a great time with her, but when she started moving in a way that made me uncomfortable and the behavior wasn't changing, I realized here's another person I got to let go. And it's okay. I saw the signs and I let go. Even though she's a beautiful person, it just doesn't sit well with me. And it's okay.
It is okay. We outgrow people, places, and things all the time. Reasons and seasons. Nothing is absolute and is going to be there for forever. That's a part of the ebb and flow of life. Once you come to that kind of understanding, you become okay with letting things go, because when you hold on to something longer than what it should, it start to hurt you. You don't want to get hurt, So let things go. Let them flow. Let it flow. It's okay.
Yes. It's a struggle.
Mm-hmm. It's part of it.
Yes, you gotta let it flow. Let it flow like Tony Braxton. Now, I always got to put a jokey joke on the side. When y'all be saying these phrases, I'm gonna match it up with some music, because that's what I'm about. Shout out to Biggs Radio again. And make sure you guys check out Biggs Radio on www.biggsradio.com. I'm just saying, Real Life Topics podcasting at 8 p.m. We got DJ K Pat on the ones and twos. Please check her out at 8 p.m. But again, two sides to every story.
Yes.
You're a beautiful person, Dr. Aisha. I just hope
Thank you.
God heals you from within and you'll be able to find your soul tribe, because when you do it, it's a beautiful thing. Because sisterhood
it's beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yes, I'm praying for it. Healing inside and out.
You got it already. You claim that thing. You go on.
Amen.
Yes. So it is Black History Month, guys. It is Black History Month. And of course, this is a part of supporting Black history, guys. Purchasing your book, Two Sides to Every Story by Dr. Aisha Collins. I mean, it can't get no better than this. You need to check out this book. And also, rest in peace to Dr. Jesse Jackson. I'm just saying, it is Black History Month. Anybody out there got any Black history that they want to shout out? I'm just saying, shout out to my cousin, my grandmother's first cousin, point writer Langston Hughes. Continue to rest in peace, baby. One of the number one point writers thus far. Dr. Aisha Collins is on her way to the top with that Langston Hughes bit as well. I'm just saying, it wasn't a coincidence that you was on Real Life Topics podcast show, and one of the hosts of Real Life Topics podcast is a cousin of the poem writer Langston Hughes. So shout out to Langston Hughes, guys.
Shout out.
And rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. I mean, so much history for Jesse Jackson, from everything from Martin Luther King. And I just want to thank you, Jesse, for everything that you have been a part of due to our ancestors.
Get the Rainbow Push Coalition.
The Rainbow Push. I used to sing at the I used to get hired to sing at Operation Push. Shout out to Operation Push. I used to sing there all the time as a child. But yes, guys. And again, just make sure you guys check out Real Life Topics podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Biggs Radio. Biggs Radio is a 24/7 radio station, and we got jazz, we got R&B, we got the hottest DJs out there thus far. And shout out to Miss Dinah Lynn Biggs as well, and the manager of Biggs Radio, Kim Patterson, which she will be on in less than 15 minutes. Miss Kim Patterson will be on Biggs Radio. But again, we want to thank Dr. Aisha Collins for coming through on Real Life Topics podcast. Make sure you guys get that book. What y'all laughing? What, I didn't say something wrong? It's Biggs Radio. It's Real Life.
We over here girl powering it out.
Okay, that's right. Women empowerment. Guess what? That trip to Ghana is not gonna stop women empowerment, guys. I mean, we live and we learn, and we just know better next time. Our discernment skills are gonna be on top. That's all I'm saying. Our discernment skills are gonna be on top, and we're gonna be able to figure out who our friends and who are not. And experience is the best teacher. So we needed that experience. You needed that experience, Dr. Aisha Collins. And now you know. What you say, Carmisha?
For growth and development. You need it for growth
and
development.
You absolutely right.
Definitely need it. It's a part of life to experience things in life and that's how we actually learn. Sometimes people can't even tell us because we all done had people that kind of make us aware, like, hey, and you be like, oh no, it's all good. And you got to find out for yourself. So that's just a part of life. You have to find out for yourself.
What don't kill you make you stronger. You still here. You still have more to offer, more stories to tell. It's okay. And
that's right.
One thing about good people, whoever did something to you, they gonna get it. I promise you.
Man, I know that's right.
Well, that's karma for you. We all know what the word karma means now, don't we? That is karma for you. That is karma for you. It will come back to you. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Nobody, but I mean, that's energy. You put that kind of energy out, we'll get it back.
Yes.
Dr. Aisha, what's coming up next for you? We got the book, Two Sides to Every Story, that's out. What is coming up next for you?
Well, I now have a website up, Expressed Experiences, encouraging Black women to write their story. If you just need someone to listen to you, if you just need someone to hear your story, help you write it, get it started. If it's in a journal, if it's in your head, go to Expressed Experiences. Send out your information, and I will definitely connect with you to talk about your story. More stories need to get out.
Yes, more story needs to get out. And you're working, and I see you writing too. So when you're coming up, you're cooking up something new on the writing side as well. So
on the writing side, yes, relationships, romantic relationships, and what those can look like when they're healthy.
I know that's right, that part. Okay.
When they're healthy. I'm in a very healthy relationship. So now I want to write about it.
I know that's
okay, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is good. That is good. It's always good to be healthy because you're nowhere without a healthy relationship. The toxic part we can't deal with. We got to upgrade on that. It's 2026. We got to do it because this is a spiritual warfare going on right now with us all, where it's just like everybody is trying to be divided and conquered. So to have a healthy relationship, it is a great blessing. It is a great blessing. And so shout out to you and your relationship.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful. That is so wonderful.
Thank you.
But yes, maybe soon you can join Real Life Topics podcast on the next topic because there's so many topics that we got to talk about. Even the next book that you're coming out with. On healthy relationships. So yes, we want to thank you for tuning in and joining Real Life Topics podcast. It was an honor because in a minute you will be one of the #1 book-selling authors at Barnes and Nobles, and we won't even be able to get in contact with you soon. You know, you'll be too famous to be. You'll be in the country signing books instead of in the country with that bad friend. That's all. That's
right. I love it. I received that.
They're gonna go out the country together. She's gonna have a good time. Ain't that right?
That's right. I know that's right.
Right. Okay. Shout out to Dr. Aisha Collins. Thank you for coming through on Real Life Topics podcast. And make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on bigsradio.com. Make sure you continue www.bigsradio.com at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss what's coming up next after Real Life Topics podcast. Miss Kim Patterson as well. I'm just saying, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to Real Life Topics podcast and Biggs Radio. Check us out next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. You don't want to miss these exclusive topics and these exclusive interviews. It's Real Life Topics podcast and bigsradio.com.
Good night. Love you guys.